You know, I know that considering what's happened in, my family and one could argue my life, I have experienced my share of loss. And I've always believed in being able to share your feelings on this is some of the best medicine that there is for a situation like this. Because, well, you can't OD and the refills are free. And while it may come across as I'm rather comfortable talking about this, in actuality, it's still hard to do. In fact, sometimes I'm rather scared to death. No pun intended, of course. Because when it comes to the subject of loss, there are just so many variables going on. Feelings, asking yourself questions, emotions, thoughts. It can be so incredibly overwhelming. And then, for some, more often than not, some families don't even get closure. I bring this up because, as you all know, or if you have been watching, or I'm about to say, several weeks ago, I had lost a teammate of mine from back in my days of Horseheads High School. And I'll just keep it simple. It was a canoeing accident, and it took place at Seneca Lake, which is the deepest lake of the Finger Lakes. So, needless to say, it was looking as if all hope was lost in being able to find my friend. His name was Manganaro. Although I am happy to report that they were able to find his body. So, to the Manganaro family, my heart goes out to you. In fact, if I may, I posted this on a group dedicated to Dan, and I figured, I should, read aloud to you guys. Starters, I'm very happy for the Manganaro family, as now they have closure and they can make arrangements as needed. Though this loss is tragic, it does allow for the opportunity to think about all the happy memories we have of, well, not just Dan, but of anyone we lose, really. As well as be thankful that they were a part of our lives, regardless of the size of, said part. So, needless to say, there's actually several things that I have on here that I wanted to read aloud. Again, they were able to find Dan's body, and it was actually quite interesting because I said this before doing these videos. Seneca Lake is the deepest lake of the Finger Lakes, which I just said. Specifically, it's 681 feet deep. They found Dan's body somewhere in the 571, 578 range, which reports, because I looked that up right now, I had it ready, of course, said that it was the deepest that they've ever had to go to find anyone, which is, as tragic as it sounds, it is rather impressive because Dan Manganaro broke many records for weightlifting and other sorts of various athletic events, and he even set one last record before his sad and untimely passing. And, it's hard. Again, it is never easy to do videos like this. It's not. Let's just say there's a reason why I have this little guy with me, because Lord knows I need a hug when this is all over. Although I figure, I've said this story before, but it does bear repeating, because I actually do have one particular memory of Dan Manganaro that, don't worry, it's nothing embarrassing or anything, because, it's meant to be, paying respects, of course. Fun fact, I'm actually one of the only people at Horseheads, one of the few people, because I'm sure there's probably others, who has had not one, but two Manganaro boys as teammates, albeit for different sports. Dan was a freshman when I was a senior, and we were wrestling teammates. And his brother, who I graduated with, I played football with him. So that's pretty cool. The one story I have of him is, we're at it was at the end of the season for wrestling. And we have, sort of team banquet or something like that. And, we're telling stories and stuff, like giving out like paper plate awards. It was fun. And one story that I learned about Dan that now you're about to hear, or you probably are, if you already know, then don't spoil it for anyone. Before every match, Dan would get ready to wrestle, and the coach would ask him if he's ready to go. His exact words were, "I ain't scared." I think he meant to say, "I ain't scared," but it was just his way of doing it. And, he went out to the mat and wrestled his heart out. It was just a sort of personally, at one point, I sort of brushed it off as sort of, it's only a freshman, he's young, he doesn't know how tough life could potentially be, but he didn't care. Because, really all of the Manganaros are some of the strongest people I've ever known. They're good people, But there was just such, optimism. Even if the odds were completely against him, he didn't care. And I tried to use that sort of mentality whenever I did anything athletic as well. So, yeah. In a way, I'm very thankful that, I got to know him. I knew his brother, who I graduated with, of course. And I think what made me really, because obviously I knew his brother before I knew Dan himself. Because I've said this before, my time at Horseheads really wasn't very great. Especially back when I played football, because I was just absolutely terrible. It was a combination of, being too slow, not being able to anticipate the snap of the ball. There's just so many things that were wrong with me. I had no business being on the field at all. I can admit that now. But it was during when we were playing Corning East, because this is way back when Corning High School was Corning East and Corning West. See, now it's one high school, but they were East and West back then. Because my cousin played for Corning East. Dan's brother walked up to me during that game, because we were playing JV football. And he said, if we win, you get bragging rights. I'm like, holy cow, you're right. And at that point, I was a believer in Mango. Yeah, that's actually, I never really said this before, but that's pretty much what all four Manganaro brothers were called. They were called Mango. Which, technically is easier to say than Manganaro, even though it's, it's not that hard, I guess. But, yeah. It was, I don't really know what to say other than, the Manganeros are good people. And I thought I would take this sort of paying respects up a notch a little bit because I'm actually wearing, if I may, one of my Gettysburg College shirts. Now, what does that have to do with what's going on right now and what this video is? Well, I went to Gettysburg College, and Dan went to Science College. In fact, I do believe his younger brother went to Dickinson, and I don't know where the other two went, but I'm pretty sure they're all sort of Centennial Conference related. Yeah. So, Gettysburg College, Science College, hold on. I had the list up here. So, the schools in the Centennial Conference were Bryn Mawr, Dickinson, which is, I just mentioned where the younger brother went, Franklin and Marshall, Gettysburg, which, I went to, of course, Haverford, Johns Hopkins, McDaniel, Muhlenberg, Swarthmore, Ursinus, which is where Dan went, and Washington College. So not only am I a Horseheads Blue Raider, paying respects to another Horseheads Blue Raider, but I'm also a Centennial Conference athlete, paying respects to another Centennial Conference athlete. And if you think the accolades for Dan stopped at Horseheads, you're wrong. He ended up being one of the best wrestlers in this whole country, wrestling for Ursinus. So, again, needless to say, back when he was at Horseheads, the sun was only beginning to rise. It really does feel good to do this. Don't get me wrong, again, it's still hard. Talking about loss is never easy. Everyone knows that. But, again, it allows for opportunities like this where you can think about any happy memories or thoughts you had of that person and be thankful that they were a part of your lives. And, I can definitely say that about Dan Manganaro. So, well, needless to say, to the Manganaro family, this video is dedicated to you. I know that this loss is nothing short of, tragic. But I dedicate this video to you in the hopes that you're all doing okay, you're all safe, and get any sort of arrangements in order. And, much love to all of you. Outside of, knowing that the Manganaro family has closure, actually, the really thing, because technically yesterday, even with them, technically then the Manganaro family having closure is a good thing, for sure. But yesterday was a very good day overall. I pretty much just got to spend the day with my father. And we just hung out and chilled, and it was good. So, needless to say, this whole coronavirus thing, social distancing, and I'm going to be saying this when we get to the State of My Being address later in June. But for me personally, it was as if I was taken out of the frying pan and thrown into the fire. Just with everything that's happened. Because who ever could have predicted this? I have no idea. But I do know that, the sun is rising, quite literally in this case, on a brand new day. And we just gotta take it one moment at a time. So, once again, for the final time, to the Manganaro family, I hope you're all doing okay. I dedicate this video to you in the hopes that, you're all doing well. Stay safe. And for everyone else, I'm very humbled I made this video for all of you to watch and enjoy for today. I am beyond hopeful that we all have a wonderful day and are doing well during this time. And always remember, venting your feelings is perfectly okay to do so. And if you ever want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to listen to whatever you have to say. And I'll be here to have your back. Have a nice day.